The New York Mets have made multiple moves to this team right now, signing multiple players to the roster that has fans having a very strong opinion about the moves they made and David Stearns as a whole. While on top of that, also, we do have a major update on one of the Mets free agents where there has been a lot of questions surrounding him and his future with the Mets and future in the MLB overall. There's a lot to go over right now, and we're going to waste no time jumping right into it, guys. But real quick, before we do that, if you are part of that 70% that's not subscribed to Mets Digest, make sure to subscribe so you don't miss a single New York Mets update. We've got a lot of great videos coming out every single day that you don't want to miss out on. We're having so much fun on this channel, so you want to make sure to be subscribed and have those post notifications turned on so you don't miss any New York Mets updates. But with all that being said, let's jump into the video. There is a lot to talk about on the Mets. So, with that all going down, the Mets, as we know, are in free agency, and there's a lot of big moves that we have seen get discussed, whether that's trying to go out there and sign Kyle Tucker, looking for pitchers on the trade and the free agency market, looking at Cody Bellinger, the free agency of Pete Alonso and Edwin Diaz. There's a lot going on with the Mets, and now David Stearns has made an interesting collection of moves when there's been a whole lot being talked about this. And here's the thing, guys. We know how David Stearns operates. We know that he gets called the dumpster diver, David Stearns. But you know, guys, honestly, this time it's different. The Mets went out there and made moves that are going to change this franchise. What's that? Oh, these are the moves the Mets made. Okay, hold up, guys. As SNY revealed, the New York Mets announced that they've signed infielder Jackson Clough to a minor league deal with an invite to spring training. Clough, who's 28 years old, holds a career .688 OPS in the minors and plays all around the diamond, but mostly has been featured up the middle at second base and shortstop. And on top of that, they have agreed to a minor league deal with infielder and outfielder Jose Rojas. Rojas played in 83 games with the Angels in 2021 and 2022. He has also been a member of the Yankees, Pirates, and Giants organizations. So the Mets go out there and they make moves that at this point should surprise nobody about David Stearns. Now, Clough, he's never appeared in an MLB game, but has appeared in nearly 1,600 minor league appearances where he has 41 or 42 career home runs, a batting average of .219, and an OPS of .687. Clough is here for two reasons. He's here to run the bases, and he's here to basically just be fielding depth because he can play any position that you possibly need him to play. That's what he does. That's why he's bounced around the minor leagues, but he has never made it to Major League Baseball. And with the Mets, many Mets fans are not going to want to see Jackson Clough be the guy who makes it to the Major Leagues right now because of these not good offensive numbers out of Clough. Now, yeah, he steals a ton of bases, and that's great, but at the end of the day, he is not someone who has fans excited whatsoever about these moves, and it's understandable why. I mean, fans took no time to call them the New York dumpster divers as usual with David Stearns, and also any posting negatively about this should never watch baseball again. You are truly stupid. So some people, they are not as thrilled with people's anger towards these moves, but at the same time, it's more dumpster diving, as some people say. The New York dumpster fire divers are off to a rip-roaring starting in free agency. So fans understandably have strong opinions about these moves regarding these players. Now, Rojas has made it to the major leagues where he has a minus 1.8 career WAR and 224 at-bats. He's got a 188 batting average with 6 home runs. He can bounce around the field, has played mainly in the infield, but can go out to right field as well, which we've seen before because he has a very good arm. That's why he plays a lot of third base, is because that arm is strong. So he plays a strong arm position, but is mainly a minor league player with an OPS, a career OPS of 584 and an OPS plus of 59. He obviously is not exactly the guy who you want to see the Mets at as well. These guys are depth. It's infield depth. That's what the Mets went out there and did. They added more depth to the infield in case of injuries, especially when the Mets infield has a bunch of questions. I mean, it's not exactly clear what the Mets' plans are with Jeff McNeil going forwards. Brett Beatty's going to be featured in the infield. It's just a matter of if he's going to be at third base or if he's going to be at second base. It's one of those things. We know how shortstop is going to play out. We don't know how first base is going to play out because that depends on Pete Alonso and his future with the Mets. So there's a few positions up in the air right now for the Mets and their infield. So they decided to add some depth in case of injuries, but we don't want to see either of these guys really have any role with the Mets in the major leagues right now. It's really hard to see why the Mets would go out there and make these moves other than depth purposes. Now, Rojas has been pretty damn solid in the minors, though, which is why he's gotten some major league appearances in his 2,822 at-bats in the minor leagues. The man has 145 home runs, stole 55 bases as well with a 282 batting average and an 874 OPS. Look, he's a talented minor league player who I don't mind having in the system whatsoever because he's appeared in the MLB, and yeah, the numbers aren't good. But again, he's depth in a few different positions, which I don't mind, especially because he can run the bases decently as well, has a good arm. So there is some net positives about adding on Rojas to the team. There's no negative about these moves, though. That's the thing. I know that fans aren't happy with these moves, but at the end of the day, free agency has just begun. We haven't seen any signings happen yet, so I get that we want to see the bigger moves happen. I get we want to see progression with these bigger moves instead of the Mets going out there and making these signings right here. But at the same time, there's no reason to be upset with the adding of depth. I get it's not the moves we've been hoping for, but we are going to see the Mets continue to try to move forward and get the best of this all done, which also is important as well. Now, with all that being said, we also do have other updates regarding the Mets as well, specifically in regards to a now longtime New York Met who's got me turned upside down about this upgrade in Starling Marte. Marte has been with the Mets since 2022, and he is a free agent right now. He has been someone who fans have absolutely loved and had some excellent years with New York, but now he's getting older, and there's a lot of questions about his future, not only with the Mets, but in the MLB as an entirety, and Bleacher Report did recently discuss that, talking about Marte's future, saying, for anyone rolling their eyes at the idea of calling Starling Marte a star, it's easy to forget that during his peak with the Pirates, he rattled off 4 straight 4-WAR seasons while winning a pair of Gold Glove awards and wrecking havoc on the bases. All of that helped earn him the 4-year, $78 million deal that he signed with the Mets. And while he was an all-star in his first season with the team in 2022, he logged just a 1.0 WAR in the 278 games over the final 3 years, while he also dealt with some injuries as well and just also was not always playing. That first year with the Mets, Marte was one of the best players in the team, but now things have changed, and Bleacher Report did suggest that Starling Marte does ultimately opt to retire from the sport, moving on at this point because of the injuries, the fact that he can't really play the outfield anymore. He's more of a DH, and the numbers are going down. I mean, Marte had a 1.0 WAR this season with the Mets with a 270 batting average and an OPS of 745 with an OPS plus of 111. Look, if he could still play the outfield, this is a completely different story, but the Gold Glover is not the same out there anymore. He's slowed down. The arm's not the same. He's starting to lose it, and if he can't play the outfield, he's not good enough to be a DH. Yeah, the 270 batting average is nice. I'm not arguing with it. He's been a great contact hitter over his career, and he's been able to hit with some decent power as well. He's not going to shock the world, but he does bounce off the ball a little bit, and the OPS is a 745 still, which is league average when you consider the OPS plus of 111. He's really around a league average hitter, but you want way more out of a hitter if they're going to be your DH. So there's no reason for the Mets to keep Marte around, especially considering the fact that there's not a spot for him to play in the field. And if that's the case, we know the Mets want to sign Pete Alonso on the caveat that he plays more DH. We know that Juan Soto one day is going to take over as the DH for the Mets as well. With all this in mind, it does make sense for the Mets to ultimately decide to not bring back Starling Marte and for Marte ultimately to probably call it a career. Though I'll always root for Marte for all the good years that he did bring, or well, the good year that he brought. And also, he's just been a staple of the MLB for a while now. He's easy to like. Guys, what do you think about these moves? What do you think about Starling Marte and him being urged to retire? Let me know in the comments down below. Like this video, subscribe, turn on post notifications. Have a great day. I'll catch you later.